Hello, class. 409, 809. I have just finished reading some of your marijuana debate discussion on the discussion board for the assignment, and what a lively debate you guys have had. This to me is always an interesting exercise because it really does show the psychosocial issues around our substances. So here are the results. We had 16 for legalization, we had 7 against, and we had one person I couldn't quite tell. It was very much back and forth. So I put that in the unsure category. And actually, a lot of you were kind of unsure and had a hard time taking a stance. Some were, as you probably saw, very either for or against. So the interesting thing to me on this debate, I've been doing it a while in the class, and as the laws for legalization of marijuana have changed, so has kind of the public opinion, and that has happened in this class. So early on when I started it, we did not have states who had legal marijuana, either for medicinal or recreational purposes. And so it was pretty clear people were against it. And now it's switched the other way. Almost the majority are almost, for it. And there's fewer against. And so it really does show how the tide changes based on kind of what's going on out there, like politically and socially. Now, some of you have said in your debate, it should be based on the research and what we know. Some of you changed your position after reading the materials, and which is interesting. So I think one thing we have to do is arm ourselves with knowledge. And for me, this debate, it's not done yet. And I think we're going to find, as we kind of have in some of the research, for legalization of marijuana for recreational and or medicinal purposes, that it's not what they thought it was going to be. So I just came back from a training, and one of the sessions that I went to were all around this legalization issue. And the findings out of Colorado, and this is a national researcher who does a lot for NIDA, which is the National Institute of Drug Abuse, and SAMHSA, they are finding that the marijuana, there's a lot more problems being caused by it than what they anticipated. So in states where it's legal, either for medical and or recreational, that fatalities are going up for traffic accidents. So we are now having the same problem we are with drunk driving, alcohol, and driving as with marijuana. So that's increased significantly. The medical use, the states are finding that the biggest majority of people with medical use are males between the ages of 18 and 25. That's who has the majority of the medical cards. So really that's not as was intended. And also the THC levels in the marijuana are through the roof. And because as they're growing it, as you saw on some of those videos, it's becoming very, very potent, which is then in turn causing the some of the negative effects of the substance, in the body, especially around kind of the paranoia, the psychotic kind of symptoms. That we're seeing more and more of that. So there's some trouble on the horizon with marijuana in terms of the effects. For us, what we see with clients and people. And so somebody mentioned the kids aspect of this as well, and they are finding that it is hurting children. So people who, are smoking a lot of marijuana, the effects kind of trickle down obviously to the kids, and that's also another thing that's not going as well. So for my 2 cents, I also don't believe that criminalizing any kind of drug has helped us a lot, where jails are full of people who have drug offenses. But I am not for the legalization of marijuana recreationally, and I'm not for it, as the way it stands for medical. I just think it's too easy for people who don't need it to get it. So we've got some work to do in my mind around the medical issue, because you can get medical marijuana that is, not smokable, that you can just find on the street for recreational. There's other ways to do that. And so I'm against that because I think we should be doing more the other way with the whole drug schedule, and you guys talked about that in your post as well. Let's see. The other thing, I've just worked with so many people who are trying to withdraw from marijuana, and it's difficult. People say it's not a physical withdrawal; it's an emotional withdrawal, and so you'll kind of see that when we get to that, some of the withdrawal effects of the drugs. All right. I think that the other piece is that I just find it fascinating, and this is part of the reason I'm against it, is that we are now saying smoking is so bad and putting so much regulation on tobacco, and at the same time we are now saying it's okay to smoke another substance, and we're going to have the same problems with cancer and those kinds of things. So again, I think it's the route of administration that I have problems with in terms of legalizing it for medical. So. All right, I think that's all I have on that. So great job, you guys. And we're moving on to alcohol, the world's most dangerous drug. So just a little teaser. Let's find out why that's true. Okay, bye-bye.